So this is part of a tutorial series that I have on my website for people thinking about filing for disability benefits. And I think one of the most important places to start is understanding whether or not you can qualify for SSDI or SSI benefits. Now the terms get mixed together quite a bit, and a lot of people state that they need to file for SSI benefits. In reality, they may either qualify for both or just one or neither. And I'll lay out some scenarios for you where you could be looking at only being able to qualify for SSI benefits or only being able to qualify for SSDI benefits, especially. This is really important. So understanding what the two of them are. Well, the first and foremost, SSDI is your Social Security Disability Insurance. This is what you've been paying into the system the entire time you've been working. It's part of your FICA taxes on your paycheck. So it is a safety net provided by the Social Security Administration that if you become disabled, unable to work, and you fit under the rules that they've set up and you are approved, you can receive disability benefits for 2 years, 3 years, or for the rest of your life. It just depends on what they deem how long you're going to be disabled. So SSDI is quite important. It is earned by your work credits for each quarter that you're working, and for a person who's been working consistently 5 out of the last 10 years, you're going to be able to earn SSDI for the most part. Now, SSI is something totally different. It in itself is welfare. It's welfare because you didn't earn it paying into the system. It's being given to you by the federal government. And since you don't have work credits in order to qualify for SSI, there are income limits that you cannot go over or you will not qualify for SSI. SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income. For people that, again, do not have the work credits to earn SSDI, they quite possibly could earn SSI. But again, it's very important to understand you have certain asset limits and you have certain income limits that you cannot go over or you don't qualify for SSI. SSI can also help those that do have enough work credits for SSDI, but they're not earning up to $733 a month from SSDI. If somebody had a low income paying job and the most they could get from SSDI on a monthly disability check was say $400, SSI, if the financial requirements are met, could actually kick in and make up the difference and equal up to a total of $733 a month. So what are the likely scenarios as you're sitting there contemplating whether or not to file for disability? Well, the first scenario is quite easy. You become disabled. You've been disabled for approximately about 5 months. You've satisfied the short-term disability period. You want to file for SSDI. You fill out the application online. You have enough work credits, and you have sufficient medical evidence to show that you are disabled, and you follow Social Security's rules. As you go along in the process, you get approved, and you receive disability benefits from anywhere from 3 years to 5 years. It just depends on, again, when they decide that you are no longer disabled, or that in the fact that you will be disabled for the rest of your life. Okay, so that's always the best scenario. That's the one that attorneys are actually working for. Those are the ones that people, when they're filing, they're hoping for, everything. That's the best case scenario you could possibly hope for at filing under the disability system. What are some nightmare scenarios? These are some scenarios that that's one of the reasons that you're going to need an attorney, number one. The first is that you don't have enough work credits and you're married and you have a spouse that's working full time, but because you're not working, you and your spouse believe that you need to file for disability to get some extra income coming into the house, or you haven't worked for consistently 5 out of the last 10 years. And so you apply, you don't have enough work credits to qualify for SSDI, And then you're also going to be in trouble for SSI purposes also. For example, you have more than $2,000 in non-exempt assets, or your spouse is making more than $1,100 a month gross. And so those two things alone right there will knock you out. And I've had people that I filed for before where they've been a stay-at-home mom, especially in circumstances like that where the husband has gone out and earned income, but the wife does become disabled, and that, for example, they believe they need Medicare or Medicaid benefits, so they think the solution is to file, and they soon realize that because the spouse is working and they don't have enough work credits, they do not qualify for SSDI. They do not qualify for SSI benefits. In fact, they cannot stay in the Social Security disability system. So that is probably the worst case scenario. The other issues too to watch out for is if you're applying for SSI, if you're receiving any type of help. So a lot of people that file are losing their home. They don't have places to stay. Some really awful scenarios occur when filing for disability. And my heart goes out to each and every one of my clients or anybody watching this video that I understand what you're going through. So they file for disability and they're receiving money from their parents, for example. And in receiving money from their parents, they're receiving, say, $500 a month. That's all that their parents can help them out with, or family, friends, church, whatever. And they're receiving it on a consistent basis. Well, Social Security considers that money, that in-kind money, those in-kind benefits, as income, especially for SSI. Because remember, SSI is welfare in itself. You didn't earn it, and the government's giving it to you. So any way they can look to reduce that amount of money that's being given out, they will. So a person that has been disabled for 2 years going through the disability system, they go to a hearing, they find out their case is approved, and then Social Security does a look back during that SSI period. And they see that they've been receiving money from family, and also, too, they've been able to live rent-free for this period of time. Well, first and foremost, they fall under what's called the 1/3 rule. And what the 1/3 rule says is that if you're living with somebody and you're receiving SSI, then at least 1/3 of that $733 a month payment is going to be taken away, leaving you with approximately $466 a month, because they consider that food and shelter is worth at least 1/3 of that $733. So, and then they're receiving money, say, for example, from their parents, another $500. And what you realize is that you're going to receive a check for $100, $150, something like that. That's all the government's willing to give you if you're receiving those benefits. And in fact, you've gone through a 2-year waiting period, which you would have been able to qualify for back pay at the tune of $733 times 24. You know, it's 24 months. That's a substantial amount of money. It can change people's lives, as a matter of fact. They can pull them out of debt, get them back on their feet, a place to live, and then receive benefits. But then they realize that there is basically no back pay. They're getting less than $1,000 a month, $1,000 for those 2 years back pay. And they're receiving minimal amount of disability, and so they can't survive on it. The only good thing about it is that with SSI, you become eligible for Medicaid, and whereas SSDI, after 2 years, you become eligible for Medicare. So those are some things to be watching out when you're thinking about applying for disability. One of the things that I would tell you as a solution is to go down to your local Social Security office, wait in line. I know it's miserable there, but have them look at your work credits. Take a look at your work credits. It's vital. And ask them if you qualify for SSDI. If you do qualify for SSDI and you're making less than $1,133 a month gross, then you'll be able to go ahead and file for SSDI and not be denied for financial reasons. You may be for medical, but at least your case is moving forward. If if you don't have enough work credits and Social Security tells you that you don't have enough work credits, well, the good thing about it is that you can evaluate your financial situation and then determine whether or not you qualify for SSI benefits. And, perhaps don't take money from your family, but you might have living arrangements. And this way it helps you get on the right path. What I see time and time again is people filing for disability. But there is two aspects to disability, okay? There's the financial, the work credits, and then the other side is the medical. So there's actually two very important components to disability, okay? So they blindly file for Social Security disability benefits, not realizing that they don't have enough work credits to qualify. But because Social Security is pretty overwhelmed, Congress recently cut their budgets, looking at cutting their budgets again, and the wait times for Social Security cases are unheard of as it is right now. They sit there and wait, and they don't realize that since they didn't qualify for SSDI, they need to make an additional application to qualify financially for SSI. These are some really important things. I know it's confusing, but hopefully with a little bit of guidance, you guys will be able to apply correctly and at least get your case moving forward. Remember also, too, that the case starts and originates in your local Social Security office. So, for example, you're living in Dallas, Texas, a certain part of Dallas, Texas. It would go first to the local Social Security office servicing your area of Dallas, Texas. And then from there, it would go down to Austin, where the State Disability Determination Service would make a medical decision about your case. So until you can satisfy the financial requirements needed, not making over a certain amount for SSI, you have sufficient amount of work credits for SSDI. Another thing, too, that often comes up is for permanent residents, establishing who they are, that they're here legally, and providing one of their birth certificates. These are things that get it out of the local Social Security office and moving down to the DDS system, which is the Disability Determination Service in your local state, in your own state. And they're the ones that make the medical opinion in regards to whether or not you're disabled. It then goes back to Social Security, and Social Security issues either that great letter that says you actually are disabled, or it says you've been denied and you have the right to appeal. But of course, that you could talk for days on that. Thank you.